Department, we know some investigations have relied on intel given by confidential informants.
It's often in exchange for working off charges or even getting a paycheck from the police department. Despite recent scrutiny of MPD, Fox 9 investigator Nathan O'Neill shows us how there's still very little transparency.
It's a program that operates largely in secret, away from the public eye and with very limited public oversight. But the Fox 9 investigators have learned MPD is paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to confidential informants, but it's unclear how effective they are. It was a series of hard-to-watch events.
Get your hands up! You're gonna get tased!
I was a blur. I was getting hit and my neck was my hair being pulled out.
Put your hands up!
That would lead to accusations of excessive force, a six-figure settlement, and questions about the existence of a confidential informant.
Everyone's liberty is at stake.
On this December night in 2019, body camera footage captures what started out as a traffic stop in North Minneapolis.
Andre, I'm gonna put cuffs on you in front. Okay? Let me see your hands. Put them up. Hey. Andre, stop. What are you reaching for, dude?
A federal lawsuit claims MPD officer Tony Partika and other officers improperly targeted then 48-year-old Andre Moore, mistakenly targeting him as someone with an outstanding warrant.
A lot of cops started pulling up, so I got nervous, and then I was like, what the heck's going on?
Hand behind your back. Oh. Stop moving! Stop resisting! Stop moving!
I was like, man, they got me mistaken for somebody else.
The lawsuit claims MPD officers beat up Moore, pulling his hair, breaking his nose, among other injuries, and then filing this incident report with the heading, quote, "More money, more problems." The lawsuit claims months later, Officer Partika would falsely obtain a search warrant for Moore's home, telling the judge that he, quote, found baggies containing drugs in a trash bin outside Moore's residence, and that a so-called confidential and reliable source had observed Moore selling drugs at the property.
I thought about it because I said, why would it be an informant? I wasn't doing nothing like that. To have an informant, that don't make sense to me.
In that case, to this day, have a feeling maybe that confidential informant didn't even exist. I'll never know, because apparently the officer brought a name and he told the judge at least a name.
Attorney Tanya Bishop was Moore's public defender in the case.
At the end of the day, it didn't become about the confidential informant anymore, because there was other things that were untrue or done in a reckless disregard of the truth, and that's where we ended up.
Moore would ultimately spend 7 months behind bars. Months he would never get back.
I was stressed out, couldn't eat, scratching my head a lot, losing weight, couldn't sleep.
The drug charges against Moore were ultimately thrown out after the judge found there was, quote, intentional or reckless disregard for the truth when the officer applied for this original search warrant. The judge pointed to the lack of evidence. The bag the officer described in the warrant, in fact, did not contain any white powdery substance, and the officer had no explanation. Moore's case is just one example of how the secrecy surrounding the use of confidential informants in policing can truly complicate things for someone at the mercy of the justice system. At Minnesota State Mankato, we meet Assistant Professor John Reed. He spent 35 years on the force in Kentucky and says confidential informants are useful in certain cases.
I think as far as narcotics investigations, they're very integral to investigations and so forth, but they're also helpful, you know, in homicides, robberies.
To maintain their safety, confidential informants' identities are protected by state law. They often work with police to give information to help them build criminal investigations, sometimes conducting drug buys in exchange for a lesser sentence, or in some cases, a direct payout from the police department.
They're people that actually make a living giving information to police.
And they can support their lifestyle.
They can support their lifestyle completely.
Through a public records request, the Fox 9 investigators have learned MPD has paid confidential informants more than $300,000 over the past 4 years. But exactly how that money is spent is a mystery. since the department declined to hand over more detailed financial records.
More than $300,000 paid to confidential informants. When you see that amount that's been paid out, what do you think?
I think it's a lot of money to be paid out. I would like to know individually how much they're getting paid.
If getting paid is the motivation for an informant, how can you trust that what they're telling you is reliable or not?
I think you have to approach it as a handler and a supervisor, not to be trusting of any of that information. I think it needs to be verified second and third hand.
In some cases, confidential informants have led to police searches and even arrests. But when the Fox 9 investigators reviewed warrant applications submitted by MPD officers where confidential informants were mentioned, we found an inconsistency in those applications. Some officers disclosed that an informant was in fact a paid informant, while others made no mention of a payment at all.
Do you think disclosure of whether an informant has been paid or not should be mandatory?
Yes, absolutely. Because if someone is paid, then you can use that in court to challenge whether or not they are telling the truth.
One cuff's on.
As for the case of Andre Moore,
All right, Andre, come on.
his lawsuit was recently settled with a payout from the city of Minneapolis to the tune of $275,000. Meanwhile, Officer Partika is still on the job.
If we don't speak on it, then it'll keep happening, you know, like somebody got to stand up.
His former attorney now calling for more transparency when police rely on confidential informants.
At the end of the day, when they pay that person, does it end up in a conviction? Does it end up that they get a warrant and they execute that warrant and nothing is found at all? But that's never published anywhere, or no one ever knows about it.
This is people's lives and stuff we're talking about. If they were, who knows what else they can get away with.
So what's at stake? Our liberty. Everyone's liberty is at stake.
Now, MPD would not agree to an interview, but we should point out the department does have a policy on the books laying out how to handle confidential informants, including what's allowed and what's not. And while state law requires periodic reviews of that program, we, the public, never get to see that, ultimately leaving the police to hold themselves accountable. For the Fox 9 investigators, I'm Nathan O'Neill.